Howdy YouTube, this is Charles.
And this is John.
And we're in the car, and we're getting ready to head out. Can you guess where we're going? Let's find out. All right, YouTube, we're here, but where are we? We're not at the tiny house.
We're at a place called Goose Creek.
And the reason why we're at this place and this lake called Goose Creek is because we have some big news to announce. We sold the tiny house. Now, we'll get into the reason as to why. We took the money that we made from selling the tiny house. We bought property in this gated lake community. You see, we're out on the dock right now. We're getting ready to go meet some people at our property, one of our pieces of property, to get a bid on some excavation. And as you can see, we got a little lake. Well, I guess not really little lake. It's 400 acres.
It's pretty big.
And then we have a beach with a little swim area. Looks a little, you know, we are in the middle of winter in the Midwest, so everything's a little gray and blah right now, but in the summertime, I'm sure this is gonna look quite lovely when all the trees and flowers and everything are in bloom and all the boats are on the water. They've also got a little swimming pool clubhouse over there to where if we don't want to go swimming in the lake, we can go swimming in the pool. They got a snack bar, a little concession stand, there's a grocery store, there's a bar, there's a rec hall. Sorry guys, it's freaking cold, man. We're in Missouri and it's cold.
Freezing.
Deke is trying to talk us into buying some property out at Joshua Tree. I'm starting to really consider it. I mean, he owns property with us. Oh, and speaking of the fact, don't freak out too bad about us selling the tiny house. It's definitely staying in the tiny house family. We actually sold the property to Deke. So, and we still own property on the mountain too, next to the tiny house, which is our hunting grounds. And, you know, so I know there's going to be plans for the property and the tiny house in the future, but that'll probably fall under more Derek Diedrichson's channel and be a relax shack project.
We're definitely continuing and carrying on the tiny house adventures here.
Yes, that is correct. We bought 2 lots here, and we're actually going to develop, and we're going to develop serious development. And we bought our land so ridiculously cheap we couldn't say no. So without further ado, I'm going to plug our address to our first lot in GPS. And let's go head to the new Our Tiny Cabin project and see what we got to work with.
That's so cool.
All right, YouTube, here we are. We're on our property. John's over there by the little Christmas tree. So we own a 1/4 acre right here. As you can see, there's a lot of development going on, a lot of groundbreaking. Got a couple cabins going up on stilts over there. Got some excavating going on directly across the street. Now, I did briefly talk to the owners of that property right over there, and they bought that entire neighborhood. They basically bought that little driveway that you see right there, and then all the way up to where those RVs are parked up there for right now. And they're starting to develop that into a cul-de-sac and a little bit of a neighborhood. And we'll probably eventually see more properties like what you see over yonder. I am from Missouri, people. Over yonder. Pop up around here in the neighborhood. And as you can see, peeking through the trees there, I don't know if you can see that little bit of tan and white roof. It almost looks like a cabin, kind of like our tiny cabin project. And then we got some RVs popped up here and there and around through the woods. And then there's a lot of the property right next to us on the other side of the hill is being excavated right now. You can see there's a Johnny on the spot right there, an RV off to the right. And this is the property that we're going to focus on first. We also have property up on the top of one of the hills, and that piece of property actually has lake view, and we can see the lake from there. Now, there are a lot of covenants in this gated community, and you have to basically have a permit pulled to blow your nose. But in the same instance, after developing the property up on the mountain, we quickly learned why it's important to have rules, regulations, and covenants. Plus, also the other reason why we sold the property, I have for the longest time had the video locked. I'm going to unlock it now. If you guys aren't aware of the fact, when we first built our cabin up on the mountain, we had a situation occur with a guy who was staying in his dad's cabin across from us, and he ended up shooting up our cabin. It turned out the guy was a neo-Nazi, and he didn't particularly care for people like me and John here. He was, being Missouri, being the state it is, they didn't really do anything, and we had to push to get them to do something. And eventually we got a good cop who felt like it was bullshit and actually went out to his house. When the guy opened up the door, he had a gun in the house. Turned out the guy was a felon, so he picked him up as a felon in possession, hit him with like 7 charges. Then the state of Missouri, being the state of Missouri, sat on him until the ATF picked him up. He's been in jail for like 6.5 years. Well, he gets out of jail in like 2 years. After all the political climate and everything on all the nonsense that's going on in the world right now, John and I decided that we might as well cash in on our investment, pass it on to somebody that maybe would have better luck in that environment than we would, and reinvest. So we decided to invest our money in a gated community that's got 24-hour armed security. And when we came out here to purchase, it was still green, and a lot of the RVs and stuff were out here. And I'm telling you, some of the RVs and stuff that we saw out here are worth more than our house in Kirkwood. So there is money here, and there's a lot of ground being broken. So we're going to be meeting these people here in a few minutes to give us a bid on what we need to do and go from there. All right, guys. Here's another look at the lake as the lake goes on and on and on. Some of the lake houses out here.
Some of these are like really beautiful and amazing.
Yeah. So as you can see, parts of the neighborhood are more developed than others. And the lake goes this way, the lake goes that way, the lake goes this way.
Look at this house.
That's amazing, dude. So we got in when the getting was good. I bet you this is his place he was talking about right here. He was talking about he had all kinds of equipment. By the pet cemetery.
Some of these are truly like nice living, full-time homes.
Okay, oh, here we are. This is his place.
I'm going to